All right, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We're on Fed Watch. Fed Watch. Powell testifies before the Senate Banking Committee today. And then, hey, Robin. And then tomorrow, I think he goes to the House Banking Committee. And so I think they used to call this the Humphrey Hawkins, interview. Humphrey was the vice president for Lyndon Johnson. Hawkins was Senator Hawkins from Wisconsin, I believe it was. And they felt that they felt that they needed more conversation. Yo, Janos. So today is Fed Watch. He speaks in another hour and 28 minutes or something like that, which means in an hour and 13 minutes, an hour and something like that, an hour and 12 minutes, he will release his statement. He has an official statement. Supposedly he's reading from a statement that he has prepared. He's worked on for days and weeks probably. And then what happens is that he goes in there, he reads that, and then they do conversation. They ask him questions, which is fine. And he goes back to the statement and tries to extrapolate a little bit more, tries to expand on it or contracts it. Depends on what the question is. So that's what's going to happen. Everybody has their ears open. There's people out there in the financial industry that want to tell us that they're going to lower rates in September. They've also were going to lower rates in June. We're in July. Then they were going to lower rates in was it April or early first day of May, something like that. Nothing happened. It goes on and on and on. Matter of fact, what's interesting is someone was discussing it this morning where Canada lowered their rates back in early June, I guess it was, late May. And they're really sorry they had. Now they have to tighten up money supply. And their inflation jumped. So, I want to put my head inside Mr. Powell's brain for a moment, just to listen to what he is thinking, not what he says, but what he's thinking, And I would imagine by cutting rates in September would make him look totally irresponsible. Now, there's some that feel that if the economy is slowing as much as it is, maybe in December he should cut rates, especially if Mr. Trump has won the election, because they know that the spending will slow down, which is creating the inflation. They'll be drilling. Mr. Trump has already stated he's put out a 22 policy. Instead of 100 pages of rubbish, they put out a statement yesterday of what their policies are going to be. It's only 22 points, which is really easy. Cutting back spending, inside. In other words, we don't have a spending problem in the country, and we don't have a taxing problem. This year we collected more taxes than we've ever collected in history. Why the Democrats constantly say they need more taxes seems to be insane to me. Why they need to spend more money than we take in, since we take in more than we've ever taken in before. Every year, taxes are higher than the year before because of inflation. So none of it makes any sense for the existing policy. But when you have somebody coming in that has a responsible form of government, then it's a whole different story. Then Mr. Powell can lower rates because he's not going to be fighting the inflation. Remember, interest rates are transitory. There's no doubt about it. They're going to come down. When? But the thing is that inflation is never transitory because inflation seems to go on forever. In other words, under Mr. Trump, it was 1.4, 1.3. I think there was a point where it was 0.99. It was under 1%. And so if you have growth greater than inflation, it's not influencing everybody's everyday life. And so, the whole story will be much clearer going into December without a doubt. And then we have as we always like to say, we have a physical experience. We saw what Canada did and how it's hurting them now. And so I think Mr. Powell, in the back of his head, has to be saying, I'm going to act like I'm going to lower rates, but I'm not going to do it. I really believe that is what it comes down to. Because interest rates are transitory, whereas inflation is never transitory. It's always there. It's just, is it greater than growth or less than growth? Under Mr. Trump, it was less than the growth around us. Under Mr. Biden, it's been over the growth. So in other words, when you slow growth, you only help inflation. Something that you can't teach the socialists and the communists and the modern day Democrat Party. They just can't relate to that. Growth is evil. So anyhow, something about some of the sayings they have about the working class. I thought I was the working class. What makes me not the working class, but somebody else is the working class? I don't know. That sounds like something from Lenin or Stalin. I wish they'd stop saying that stuff. That stuff doesn't work. I don't know why they don't get a grip on that. Anyhow, there we are. There's the dollar index up on the beta. You see that right there. And you can see it's bouncing a little bit up. I guess that's insinuating that maybe interest rates are moving up a little bit. Let's take a look at the same thing over on the other platform. Right there. And there is the dollar index. It's trying to bounce up also. Now, it's been in a sell. I'm not sure why there's no red line there, but let's put a red line there. It's been in the sell now for 5 days. It's trying to make a little bounce here. We got a green and red dot. We're still in that weekly buy. It's not letting go there. And as you can see on the other platform, it's been in a weekly sell now last week and 2 weeks ago. So it's been in a weekly sell for 2 full weeks. We're starting a third week on the beta platform, and it's basically telling us that there's pressure on there. Drive-through drama. Wow. Oh, okay. They're looking at inflation again. 12 pieces of chicken, 3 large sides of tortillas, chips and sauce for $43. Wow. This is out in California. They don't know it. They only see taxes as a way of life. It's the strangest thing. But anyhow, so there it is. That's the dollar index. Let's take a look at the 30-year bond. Right there. And you see it's rising. Remember, when the price of the bond goes up, interest rates are dropping. So it's a little odd that we're seeing... and you can see here it's been in a weekly buy for at least 7 weeks, and you can see it's come from the 115 area basically all the way up to the what was that, the 120 and a half area, and then they fell down to 116, and now they're lifting up again. And so that's the same, dollar is going to look the opposite of that, and there it is. Now, we're getting a little bounce, which is kind of interesting. What's this? Trumpy's on the tape. 45th President of the United States, is he? Okay, that was Monday. Today's Tuesday. So, that is the action we're seeing over in the dollar index. And, the dollar is firm. Dollar is strong. It's a place to invest. Let's go over to the euro and see what the euro looks like. That's Canadian. Here's the euro. See the euro's moving up, gaining against the dollar. A little weakness here. Nothing goes perfect. In other words, it's never a straight line. It goes up and down. There's buyers and sellers. You can see here, it's going into the weekly buy as we speak, which is nice. Looking very firm right there. So let's shrink that box down a little bit. There we go. You can see that strength in it. Dollar index, we see the dollar index going one way. I just think that they're hesitant. I think this is staying in some type of good range. That's a higher low right there, which is nice, versus that one. And then, I think there was a higher low before. Yes, there was a higher low back. Oh, you can't see that. Right there. So we're seeing that low, and now we're a higher low. We're seeing that high, figuring that maybe, if we take out this high and this high, maybe we get a shot at that up in there. I kind of think it's going to hesitate like that. That's the way I think it's going to go. And that's the euro and the action in the euro today. Now, from there, we go over to the cable. There's the cable. And the cable is you can see it, it's been in a daily buy and a weekly buy now for a second week. So it's not letting go at all. And it's been very hesitant. You can see they don't really want to sell it. They were hoping to get rid of the Tories. They did, so it's very firm. Tories were, I like to call them the Tony Blair Tories. They seem to want to tax and spend, and why they're called conservatives, I wasn't sure. And since now Nigel Farage has opened the doorway for him to be elected, he's got a little party there, he will be the positive out of it all. In many ways, the pound may be going up because Nigel has gotten into Parliament. Having him in Parliament and leading a small party, he got 14% of the vote. That's pretty, not him personally, his party did. That's very positive. Supposedly, the lot of races against Labour, Tory came in third against Nigel's people. Nigel's people were leading over the Tories. We may be seeing the strength here because Nigel is a true conservative. He will be a Margaret Thatcher, and boost up the economy, not dead man walking. They had some type of sleepy old man or something like that they used to call Britain's economy going after the war. It just became sideways and went nowhere, and the Tories, Labour got in, and it became even worse, and there was rationing. And then the Tories slowly found a way to get in there, and Margaret Thatcher pushed them and pushed them and pushed them. And sure enough, finally, in the end, capitalism came back to the country, which is the only thing that makes the world grow, is capitalism. And technology has made capitalism a wonderful way of living. And obviously, there's people out there that have no clue to that fact. And in some ways, Mr. Powell seems to be the same way. He seems to be alienated from it too. All right, now. From there, we go over to the inflation fighters. There it is right there. There's the Swiss. It's been in the daily sell for 4 days. See a little firmness there today. You can see the weekly is actually trying to turn up still. It's a second week in a weekly buy. Or not in the buy yet. Now if it gets through the manifold up here, the yellow manifold, then it becomes a weekly buy. Or closes the week above this zero line. One or the other. So at this point, acting firm. I keep on thinking they're going to do a little curve here, and then go down again. I don't know if they're going to take out this low, but I think they could take out this low right here. And we are still in the the daily sell, as much as it's acting, and you can see, acting a little firmer. See here, green and a red. Let's see how the last time we had a green and a red. It's been kind of quiet on the green and reds on this. Usually it reflects volatility. There's one right there, all the way back in there. And it stalled out and rolled over. Now, it didn't do it in like 1 or 2 days. It looks like it's done it over, I guess, a 7-day period. So, all right. Any questions out there? Anybody want to see anything? If not, we'll just go over to the yen. See how the yen's doing. Oop. Yen trying to lift its head up again. Again. Poor yen. Again. The yen is, oh, there we go. There's Janos. NVDA and AMD. Let's put them up there. Here they come, the chip stocks. Talk about growth. There it is right there. I saw something this morning. It was interesting in the sense that it talked about the gain in that sector, and it's been very positive, obviously. All right, there is, what is that? Oh, that's here's NVDA. Third day in a buy. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a buy since the 90ish area. They tried to correct it. You see that there. And then let's go over and check out AMD. I think it went into the weekly buy last week. I think that was the one. Right there. AMD. There's Tesla options. AMD. Right there. You see, it's second week in a buy. Yesterday they were up from it. Today they are down a little bit, nothing major, but then the markets are not open here yet. And so lots of firmness. It's in a buy from here. This could be moved all the way over to there. So weekly buy here. It's been a nice pop from the 55 area, 58 area, 57 area, 58, 57 area, all the way up to the almost yesterday got up to 178.95. And we'll see how it goes today. Most of this bar makes no sense, but we'll see. So there's the two right there. They're pulsating along, acting healthy and happy. There's lots of buying going on. It's your classic major tech situation. Major tech situation. I like that. That sounds pretty cool. All right. Where were we? Oh, yeah, yen. How is Mr. and poor yen? There's the yen again. Lifting up. Trying to get into the daily buy. And it's been in that weekly buy from here. From the 155, 156 area. And now we're at the 162. In this case here, 161 and change. Let's take a look at the Nikkei. I always like to look at the Nikkei after looking at that. Woo! Look at this thing pop. They really lifted it up today. And it's in a third full week of a weekly buy. Not bad, eh? It is acting very, very strong. The stocks, usually stocks pick up inflation. That's what it comes down to. Stocks are a real hedge against inflation in the beginning. Then as time goes on, companies slow down because the central bank here in the States believes that you need to slow the economy to get rid of inflation, which seems odd to me. But Keynesian economics, the socialists have their pet peeves, I guess you could call it. All right, from there we go over to the great experiment, the Turkish lira. Uh-oh, get down. Stop that. See that right there playing with the top of the box? It seems to have topped out each time. Let's hope it does. Let's hope it doesn't go after the all-time high right there. Let's grab a green from there. There it is. Climbed into a daily buy 4 days ago and doesn't seem to be wanting to let go. We had the weekly flirt back in here with a weekly sell, but it failed. And you can see we've been in a weekly buy now for, there's 4 weeks, there's 8 weeks, there's 9 weeks. This is the 10th week. This thing can take chunks. 2 more weeks and it'll be a quarter of a year. I mean, this thing can go, we've seen this thing do 53 weeks in a buy, 49 weeks in a buy. This thing is tenacious, just tenacious. It does not let go. I saw an economic story, and there somebody in Turkey, I think it was, or maybe no, I think it was part of the European Union, that was making a joke about President Erdogan of Turkey, saying that something that he doesn't know economics, and look what's happening to his country. When he was complaining that the it's like one of the Eastern Europeans, might have been the Hungarian president or the Bulgarian president, and they were like, "You don't know what you're talking about." Supposedly, they did this on X. It was on X, no less. So it's like, wow, smack talk on X on the European Union. I love it. Smack talk. I'm glad that some of these leaders, they're governing their countries well. I know Hungary and Bulgaria are doing much better than Turkey. I think that their currency, if they're tied to the European Union, they're even doing better. Or maybe not. That could be inflationary, really. Like Poland, we watch the Polish currency. It's on our spreadsheet. It outperforms the euro all the time. It goes back and forth, of course, but it does a really good job. It's a very good currency. And, you try to figure out, okay, it's holding its own against the big boys. I mean, was it France is the second largest country in Europe, but Poland is the second largest industrial nation in Poland. So, and they only have like a quarter of the population. So, they do a pretty good job of running their economics. I know people get upset with them because, they've had socialism for so many decades under the Soviet Union, and they don't want to be socialist anymore. And Eastern Europe has moved away from that socialism stuff, and they're growing, and that's a good thing. But France and Germany are not happy about that. They like a little bit more socialism, and that's why they're not growing so much. All right, that is the great experiment. Now, from there, we slide over to the South African Rand. This way, we start to look at the metals complex. And you can see they keep on making higher or lower highs there, from there, from there. I think there might be one even higher right there. It was a little bit higher. They've had a lot of politics making things even crazier. There's another high there. And now that the ANC is a coalition government, things are moving in the right direction. A little more capitalism coming back. The ANC is a communist organization, and they seem to have spun off the strongest of the communists, and now they're only 39% of the parliament. So they need the capitalists to come in and help them out because they don't want to go towards the Zuma and the other communist arm. Instead, they've linked with the capitalists, the Zulu Nation, and the old ruling political party that's much more capitalistic. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, they're both anti-immigration. And that's what apartheid was all about, was anti-immigration. I mean, they were pro-immigration. Apartheid allowed illegal aliens to vote. They gave them half a vote. It didn't seem to work out in the end. But that's the way it goes. So, now, from there, we go over to, let's take a look at it. Oh, you can't see that. Just realized that. Let me go back and show you. So I just showed you, there it is right there. And the poor Turkish lira right there. You see it's starting to bounce up through there. There we go. Sorry about that, traders. Tell me if you don't see what I'm mumbling about. Let's take a look at gold. There's the gold. Gold looked like it tried to close in the sell there last night, but failed at it, and is still in the buy. Let's put it up on this screen over here. And you can see it's flirting with a little weakness here, but and they did take it down pretty hard from the Friday move up to the Monday move down, but still in the buy on the weekly, still pushing up. We're still seeing that strength. And then we jump over to Silverado. There's silver. Silver didn't even go into the sell. It's lifting off the 29 area and trying to get back to that 32. And you can see 33 would be nice. And we are also on that a second week in a weekly buy right there. I think that's the wrong color even, isn't it? There it is. So it's trying to lift up again. I'm not sure if there's anything we can say about any of that in the end. Even an odd itch there. Working in the garden. Have to put something on that. So from there, silver's lifting up. Copper seems to be having its issues. Let's put silver on there. And there's silver. And then there's silver there. Looking good. And then let's go over to, where's it at? Let's put copper up on there. Now it's in a daily and weekly buy for going on a second week now. And over here, we're seeing a little different picture. We're going to have to clean this up. See it right there? Lots of strength in the copper. All right. Now they're speculating on Powell again and what he's going to say. He's an hour away, I guess you could say, of speaking. And 45 minutes from now, they're going to be putting out his what he's going to talk about. Also, we have NATO here, too. Mr. Biden is calling it a big boys meeting. I have no idea. Sometimes Jojo the monkey is one funny little character. Someone's got to get him some symbols and peanuts. Jojo the monkey. Our President of the United States. All right. Now, from there, we go over to the platinum. Where's that platinum? There it is. Now look at that. That doesn't look right because it must be a front month. We're looking at October now. So let's take a look at it over here. There it is right there. Now, that is platinum. Platinum did that dive down, and we were green and red, so we couldn't put it into the sell. But now it's doing that sell thing like that. Matter of fact, might as well get rid of that, because tomorrow or this afternoon, could be the sell again. All right. And so that's the last of the metals complex there. Feeling the pressure and trying to climb into the weekly buy at the same time. So we got daily buy fading. We've got weekly buy firming. It's that type of thing. Something about NATO is here in the United States, and supposedly the Germans claim that they were having a meeting with Joe, and Joe didn't show up. And Secretary of State Blinken showed up and had to say that, hey, our president had to go to bed, so he can't make the meeting. And that is what it is, I guess. Very strange. Very strange. There's talk that Hunter Biden is running the White House right now. He's been in the White House for like weeks now, ever since the problem occurred with people finding out that Joe Biden. And let's put it this way: not here. We knew Jojo the monkey, President Biden himself, is incompetent and falling apart and makes no sense. But the national media has all of a sudden found that out of nowhere. It's like, where have you been? Everybody on vacation for the last 4 years, or the last 8 years, or the last 12 years, or what? They've been, all of a sudden the national media is fed up and they're like concerned. So, it's been a really weird thing. The media is really getting nuts on it. They want to know when he's going to resign. He keeps on telling them, forget about it. Forget about it. Not happening. And he controls the checkbook, too. So he's not going to walk away. He's got a couple $100 million in his name of his campaign. And that money can only go to him or the vice president. But it cannot go to anybody else unless he gives it to them. And JoJo ain't going to hand away $200 million or $250 million. Not going to happen. That's not JoJo. All right. Let's go over to the energy sector. Right there. There's crude oil. And it's a second day in a sell. The weekly is breaking the manifold and starting to move south. But, oh my God, they got the mainstream media yelling and complaining to the White House secretary on TV, yesterday. I mean, it's just like they're acting like as if they just woke up and they've been sleeping for 50 years. It's really weird. Wow. Isn't that funny? All right, now from there we'll go over to on the beta and look at West Texas Intermediate right there. This way we can look at Brent. And there it is right there. It's a third day and it's trying to move down. And you can see here we are 5 full weeks now in a weekly buy, and we're second day in a sell right there. Actually, it went into the sell on Friday. Right there, and we got a green dot, so we couldn't, it didn't start off that way with us, or let's say the platform we normally use. And then from there, let's show you heating oil. Heating oil is 3 days in the sell. This is the fuel processed for fuel for airplanes and trucks and heating houses, because they use that diesel type thick stuff. Let's see, where is it at? H-H-O. H-O, where are you? There it is, right there. You see that? 3 days also in a sell. And you can see in a weekly buy. Now our platform that we do still use, but our betas are catching up. We have 2 betas now. And so here it is there. You can see that doing that same thing on the heating oil, breaking down, but not the weekly. Let's take a look at North Sea oil, Brent. There we go. 2 days in a sell. Actually, it's 3 days in a sell. Sorry about that, traders. That's 3 days. That's a minus. So that is Monday. And there is Tuesday up on the screen. This is the old beta. And our new beta, we can show you the stocks. It's not trade. Oh, there's Giannis. Let's see now. Moreover, how much impact can Powell's speech have today? Well, he will give ammunition for the money managers who've been swearing since last November that they're going to cut rates. They are investing as if they are going to cut rates. So they're saying, it's got like a Hillary Clinton thing. What's the difference if I invested last November or if I invested now? What's the difference since interest rates are transitory? So. And so that's really what it comes down to. So Powell will have an influence that way. Let's see. Is NVDA going to hit 140 this week? This week? Let's go back and take a look at it. Let's show you the other beta too. There it is right there. There's our new beta right there. And this the individual trader has a chance to change the colors to this thing. So you can see here it's climbed back into the weekly buy. It had fallen into the weekly sell, that beta. You can see it's 5 days. That's a minus. So it's 4 days in a daily buy. You can see it's been moving up from it. Will it come up and challenge that? I would think if interest rates get lowered, yeah, I could see that. Right now, where's MVDA trading? And then we can do this too. Check this out. Let's see if we can do this. I just saw the arrow do it. I believe we can move this thing back and forth and amplify it. Let's see, how does it do it? Let's see. It's not doing it. I'm not sure why. I thought it could move it. Maybe now it'll do it. No? See, it's got an arrow there. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's down here. That's it. There we go. So you can actually move it around like that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so it's the bar. That's it. You move the bar around. And when we add more days, then you can try to... I wonder if we go like this. And then can we... That's it. There you go. So you can actually focus in on it. So the more you go like that, then we can go over here and move that around, and you can see it much better. You can see they're saying today's high was no, that's yesterday. It's not trading yet, so it won't trade. Won't trade for, it's not going to be trading live. Now let's go back over to it over here. And there it is, right there. There we are. Well, you can see today it's at 130.52. Looking okay. I mean, we're breaking down a little bit with the algorithm. Weekly is okay. Notice the fast broke into the sell. We'll have to double check our beta, because the green line might be the actual the beta. It may not be the slow. Well, that's what we're doing, is we're working on it, but it's damn good. We're very happy with it, and it's very useful for traders. Let's see, what else you say? Moreover, how much impact on pound? Okay, so I guess we've answered those two things. Now let's go back over to, where were we? I think we're doing energies, right? We were over in energy, so we just got done looking at was it Brent? And we saw heating oil. So now let's go over to natural gas. Right there. Natural gas trying to lift up again today. You know, they knocked it down, but it didn't really hold up. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. Natty gas. It's trying to lift up just like it is on the beta. Right there, you see it lifting up, trying to get going. And we're still in a weekly sell for 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Over here, we are 4 weeks in a sell. So that is the action we're seeing there. What else do we say about natural gas? Getting not much. So now from there, let's jump over to, where are we going to jump over to? We're going to jump over to Spain and check out the stock there. There we go, like that right there. You see it has a little pressure on it, but it's been in a buy. Still in a weekly sell now for what's that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 8 weeks in a weekly sell. You see they're trying to dive down a little bit. Yesterday they tried to take it down, and then now they gapped it up, and now they're trying to take it down. Not sure what it follows, if it's following the politics here or not. You know, I mean, I think it's following the European Union at this point. So, you know, that big drop you had right here was the conservatives taking over the European Union. So that's what that was, that big drop right there. That's what that was. Bang. Conservatives took over the European Union. And like we've said, now everybody's waiting to see what they do. It seems like everything's relatively well. I think it's more of a cycle thing going on right now. It's like, you know, in other words, you know, yearly cycle. So they start to reach for this inventory. You know, well, it's cheap, and then if it backs off more, then that's okay. They average in, but you know, when you're looking at something that's gone from 25, that was at 32 or something like that, that's down to like 20 and change, you got to step up and buy a little of it. You know, that's probably what we're seeing there. All right, from there, where do we go from there? We shoot over to, let's see, that's it, I guess. That's the natural gas. Oh, you're not seeing it either. Let's see. You see it right there. That was the European Union going conservative. And sure enough, ba-boom. Bada bing, as they say in North Jersey or New York. Bada bing. All right, now from there, we go and look at the rest of the world. Let's see what the rest of the world is doing stock-wise. Oh, and I wanted to try to put in that. I guess we'll not worry about it too much. So let's take a look at. We've seen what the Nikkei did. It jumped. So let's take a look at the Kospi. Korea is moving along at like a 2-month high, 3-month high, something like that. You see, it's in a weekly buy now for 5 weeks. acting very firm. Went in that weekly buy back in here and between let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right around in here in the 36.50 area. Uh oh, Washington D.C. The Democrats are having a House Dems arrive for closed door meeting, and they've taken everybody's cell phone. They're not going to let anybody record anything. They're trying to discuss what the president's future is, and that is he's the man with $250 million to spend. Don't support him, and you will go down in flames. All right, and then from there, that's why Democrats work together, is because the party pays them to work together, whereas the Republican Party does not pay Republicans to all think alike. In other words, everybody should have their own opinion. That's what the job is all about. But not Democrats. They're like a pack of animals. And now they're getting scared. You know, they see the wolf. They see the wolf at the door. Now, heard a story this morning in the Philippines. Boy, the Chinese have really pressured them enormously. There's the Philippines. And it's lifting up. But the Chinese have been really intimidating them. They're trying to take islands that are no more than a few miles off their coast. 700 miles away from China, they're trying to declare that they're Chinese property. That China is really wacko. All right, from there we go over to Taiwan. There's Taiwan. See that? Right there. Taiwan trading up at all-time highs. Interesting. Yep, you can see that right there. Taiwan looking very good. And it's been in a weekly sell for a quarter of the year. I'm sorry, a weekly buy for a quarter of the year. And look at it, all pluses. Now here, we go look at the culprit themselves. They're Shanghai. And Shanghai looks like it's trying to lift. And they did. They lifted it up today. And they've been in a weekly sell almost a quarter of the year. That's 10 weeks now in a weekly sell, 11 weeks in a weekly sell. You can see it's been gliding down from the 31.50 area down to the 29 area. So it's a good 3-4% drop. Even more than that, isn't it? Yeah, about 3.7% drop overall. Now we'll go to the Hang Seng. There it is right there. And you can see now the Hang Seng didn't gap up today. Let's just make that bigger. Wow, look at that. That's doing it too. Wait a second. Since when could that do that? Isn't that neat? Huh. And you can see right there, it is 3 days in a sell. Let me just go back to the Shanghai again. Yeah, so that's even with it trying to jump up today. It's hard to say. We won't know until tomorrow if it fell into a jumped into a buy or not. Looks like it's got a good chance of it though. You can see yesterday it was crossed the zero line, so it's got a good chance that it jumped up maybe that high, something like that. Let's look at the Singapore Straits Times, but Hong Kong is definitely not participating, that's for sure. There it is. You can see here It closed in a sell yesterday. It's got a red going on today, but it's lifting up, and we're in a weekly buy. So the sell is, basically not that powerful. All right. Now, from there, let's see, we go over to, let's go take a look at where is it at? Right there, the All Ordinaries. And it's up, looks like 3 days in a buy. And that jump up today is not really, it's got a red dot, but it looks very firm. So it's probably in a buy. Look at the weekly. Weekly is really having problems there. 3 solid weeks in a buy, but they're trying to throw it into the sell. Oop. There it is right there. And then, let's see. Let's go over to the Nifty 50. Nifty 50, where are you? There it is. You see this is like a quarter of the year now. It's been in a weekly buy. And dailies have been, it's been back and forth. But we are up at the all-time high area. So it's been in a daily buy this is the 3rd day now. And it slid into the sell there. A little bit of that. But when you're in a weekly buy, you don't take those sells. Most you do is take a little profit. Or hedge. Take your choice. Then from there, we march over to was it Saudi Arabia? And we'll check out Aramco. Right there. There's Aramco, kind of stuck in the sells. Lots of selling going on. And for 12 weeks now, a quarter of the year, been in a weekly sell. And they floated another $100 billion worth of stock, and that seemed to put pressure right at the top here. Knocked it down. And then I guess they were front running it. All right. I guess that's about it, traders. What else can we say? Anybody have any questions? And we got to come up with a title for this webinar. How about PAL and transitory? I mean, really. PAL is transitory. He sees it all as transitory. So. Let's see if we can get this going right there like that. Ooh, there you go. Got somebody coming in there. But now we got to, let's do that. So, today's title. And we'll say title. And then we'll say basically Fed chair let's see, Fed chair explains rate transitory. I think that's pretty much the real story of it all. There we are. That's pretty much what it comes down to, too. Because, interest rates are transitory, and he's been promising since November 7 cuts, and we haven't had one yet. So here we are. Basically, September will make us 10 months without cuts. So, he's going to go a whole year. There's no doubt about it. It's transitory. That's exactly what it's all about. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you. Until we meet again, that'll be tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now.